that there was once a young girl who faced rejection, hardship, and moments that could have easily broken her spirit. She was told she wasn't good enough, as she was judged for her past. She was underestimated by the world around her. But instead of accepting those limitations, she made a decision that would not only change her life, but inspire millions across the globe. Her advice was simple, yet powerful. You become what you believe. Think about that for a moment. Most people go through life reacting to circumstances. They let failure define them. They let opinions shape them. They let fear control them. But this advice flips everything. It reminds us that the life we live is not determined by what happens to us, but by what we choose to believe about ourselves. If you believe you are weak, you will act weak. If you believe you are unlucky, you will see problems everywhere. But if you believe you are capable, strong, and worthy, your entire reality begins to shift. This advice changed millions of lives because it gives power back to the individual. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need approval from others. You don't need to wait for the right time. All you need is a shift in belief. The woman who shared this wisdom didn't rise because life was easy for her. She rose because she refused to let her past define her future. She chose growth over comfort. She chose purpose over pain. And most importantly, she chose to believe in herself when no one else did. And that's where the real transformation begins. When you wake up every day and choose to believe that your struggles are shaping you, not breaking you, that your voice matters, even if it shakes, that your dreams are valid, even if they seem impossible, you start walking differently. You start thinking differently. You start becoming someone different. Millions of people heard this message and realized something life-changing. They were never stuck. They were just thinking small. The truth is, your mind is the most powerful tool you have. It can either build your future or destroy your confidence. And the difference lies in what you feed it daily. So ask yourself, what am I believing about myself right now? Is it empowering me or limiting me? Because the moment you change that belief, you change your direction. You change your decisions. You change your destiny. This is not just motivation. This is responsibility. No matter where you come from, no matter what you've been through, no matter how many times you've failed, you still have the power to choose a new belief. And that one decision, to believe in yourself, has already changed millions of lives. Now it's your turn. One of the most powerful pieces of advice that has transformed millions of lives is the understanding that belief is not just a thought. It is a force. It is the invisible energy that shapes your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. Many people underestimate how deeply their beliefs influence their lives, but the truth is simple. What you consistently believe about yourself becomes the foundation of everything you do. From a young age, we are all given labels, expectations, and limitations. Some are positive, but many are not. People may tell you that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, or not capable of achieving something great. Over time, if you hear these messages enough, you begin to accept them as truth. And once a belief is accepted, it quietly starts controlling your behavior. If you believe you are not confident, you will avoid opportunities that require confidence. If you believe success is not meant for you, you will unconsciously sabotage your own progress. If you believe failure defines you, you will fear taking risks. This is how limiting beliefs trap people in cycles they don't even realize they are repeating. But here's the life-changing shift. Beliefs are learned, and anything that is learned can be unlearned and replaced. The moment you become aware of your beliefs, you gain the power to change them. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you begin to ask, what if I can? Instead of thinking, I always fail, you start telling yourself every failure is a lesson. This may sound simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Small changes in belief lead to massive changes in behavior. When you start believing in your potential, Even before you see results, you begin to act differently. You take more chances. You speak with more confidence. You push through obstacles instead of giving up. And over time, these actions create real results, which then strengthen your new beliefs. This is how a positive cycle begins. It's important to understand that belief does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing a perspective that empowers you instead of limiting you. Life will always have challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But your belief system determines how you respond to those moments. Do you see them as proof that you should quit or as opportunities to grow? People who change their lives are not always the most talented or the most fortunate. They are the ones who refuse to accept limiting beliefs. They are the ones who decide, even in the face of uncertainty, that they are capable of more. Another key aspect of belief is consistency. You cannot expect to change your life by thinking positively for one day and then going back to doubt the next. True transformation happens when you consistently reinforce empowering beliefs. This requires discipline, awareness, and patience. It means catching negative thoughts when they arise and consciously replacing them with stronger, more supportive ones. Over time, your mind begins to adapt. What once felt impossible starts to feel achievable. What once felt uncomfortable starts to feel natural. And what once felt like a dream starts to become your reality. So if there's one thing to take from this, it is this: guard your beliefs carefully. They are shaping your life every single day, whether you realize it or not. Choose beliefs that strengthen you, that push you forward, and that remind you of your true potential. Because the moment you truly believe in yourself, everything begins to change. Every human being experiences pain, disappointment, and moments of deep struggle. It is a universal part of life. No one escapes hardship, no one avoids failure completely, and no one moves through life without facing emotional wounds. But what separates those who remain stuck from those who rise and transform their lives is not the pain itself. It is how they choose to respond to it. There are two paths that pain can lead you down. The first path is the path of excuses. On this path, people allow their past to define them. They say, I can't move forward because of what happened to me, or I am this way because life has been unfair. While these statements may hold truth, they also hold you back. They create a mindset where pain becomes a permanent identity instead of a temporary experience. The second path is the path of purpose. This is where transformation happens. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? People begin to ask, what can I learn from this? Or how can this make me stronger? This shift in perspective is not easy, but it is powerful. It turns pain from something that weakens you into something that builds you. The truth is, pain has a purpose if you allow it to. Every struggle teaches you something. Every failure reveals a lesson. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every setback carries within it an opportunity for growth. But you can only see that opportunity when you stop running from pain and start facing it with courage. Many of the most successful and impactful people in the world did not rise despite their struggles. They rose because of them. Their pain shaped their mindset, strengthened their resilience, and gave them a deeper understanding of life. Instead of using their past as an excuse, they used it as fuel. Think about your own life, the moments that hurt you the most. What did they teach you? Did they make you more aware, more patient, more determined? Did they push you to grow in ways comfort never could? Pain has a way of revealing your true strength, but only if you choose to see it that way. It is also important to understand that turning pain into purpose does not mean ignoring your emotions. It does not mean pretending everything is okay. When real strength comes from acknowledging your pain, feeling it fully, and then deciding not to let it control your future. It means saying, Wes, this hurt me, but it will not stop me. Another powerful aspect of this risk mindset is responsibility. When you take responsibility for your growth, you stop blaming circumstances, people, or the past for where you are. This does not mean what happened to you was your fault. It simply means that your future is now in your hands. And that realization is incredibly freeing. When you begin to see pain as a teacher instead of an enemy, your entire perspective shifts. Challenges become opportunities. Failures become stepping stones, and obstacles become part of your journey, not the end of it. But this transformation requires a conscious decision. It requires you to let go of the comfort that comes with excuses, because sometimes staying stuck feels easier than facing change. Excuses protect you from risk, but they also prevent growth. Purpose, on the other hand, demands courage. It asks you to rise above your circumstances. It pushes you to become stronger than your struggles. And it rewards you with growth, confidence, and a deeper sense of meaning. So the next time you face pain, remember this: you have a choice. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. You can use it as a reason to stay the same, or as a reason to become better. Because in the end, it is not your pain that determines your future. It is what you choose to do with it. One of the most overlooked yet life-changing pieces of advice is this: your environment has a powerful influence on who you become. Many people focus only on personal motivation, discipline, and hard work, but they ignore the silent force around them. The people they spend time with, the conversations they listen to, the content they consume, and the energy they allow into their lives. Whether you realize it or not, your environment is constantly shaping your mindset, your habits, and your beliefs. If you are surrounded by negativity, doubt, and limitations, it becomes incredibly difficult to think positively or aim higher. On the other hand, if you place yourself in an environment that encourages growth, positivity, and ambition, you naturally begin to rise to that level. Think about it this way: if you plant a seed in poor soil, it will struggle to grow no matter how strong the seed is. But if you place that same seed in rich, healthy soil, it has a much greater chance of thriving. You are no different. Your potential is like that seed, and your environment is the soil. The people around you play a major role in this. If you are constantly surrounded by individuals who complain, criticize, or discourage, their mindset will slowly influence yours. You may start doubting yourself more, settling for less, or giving up on goals that once excited you. Not because you are weak, but because you are human, and humans absorb energy for their surroundings. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, and who believe in possibilities, something powerful happens. You begin to think bigger. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw obstacles. You feel motivated to improve, not because you are forced to, but because your environment supports that growth. But choosing your environment is not only about people. It is also about what you allow into your mind daily. The content you watch, the words you listen to, the information you consume, all of it matters. If your mind is constantly filled with negativity, fear, or distractions, it becomes harder to stay focused and positive. However, when you feed your mind with uplifting, educational, and empowering content, your thinking begins to shift. This is why intentional living is so important. You cannot control everything around you, but you can control what you choose to engage with. You can decide who you spend your time with. You can decide what kind of conversations you participate in. You can decide what kind of content you consume every day. Another important aspect is the physical environment you create for yourself. Even small changes can make a big difference. A clean and organized space can improve your focus. A peaceful setting can calm your mind. A space filled with reminders of your goals can keep you motivated. Your surroundings should support the life you want to build, not distract you from it. It is also important to recognize when an environment is holding you back. Sometimes growth requires distance. It may mean spending less time in places that drain your energy or with people who do not support your vision. This is not about arrogance or disrespect fact, it is about self-respect and self-awareness. Choosing the right environment does not mean everything will become easy. You will still face challenges, doubts, and setbacks. But the difference is you will have support, encouragement, and positive influence to help you keep moving forward. In the end, your environment either pushes you forward or pulls you back. It either strengthens your mindset or weakens it. And while you may not have control over where you start, you always have a choice about what you allow to shape you moving forward. So choose wisely, protect your energy, surround yourself with growth. Because when your environment aligns with your goals, success becomes not just possible, but inevitable. One of the most life-changing truths that has impacted millions of people is this: motivation is temporary, but consistency is what truly transforms your life. Many people wait to feel inspired before they take action. They wait for the right mood, the perfect moment, or a sudden burst of energy. But the reality is, if you rely only on motivation, you will start strong and then stop when it fades. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel unstoppable, full of energy, ready to take on the world. But other days you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. This is normal. It is part of being human. The problem is not the lack of motivation. The problem is depending on it. Consistency, on the other hand, does not rely on feelings. It is a decision. It is the commitment to show up even when you don't feel like it. It is doing what needs to be done regardless of your mood, your energy, or your circumstances. And this is where real growth begins. Think about any area of life: success, fitness, learning, or personal development. The people who achieve lasting results are not always the most motivated. They are the most consistent. They understand that small actions repeated daily create powerful results over time. Imagine improving just a little every day. It may not seem like much at first. The progress may feel slow, almost invisible. But over weeks, months, and years, those small efforts add up. They compound, they create momentum, and eventually they lead to transformation. This is why consistency beats intensity. Doing something small every day is far more effective than doing something big once in a while. Many people make the mistake of going all in for a short period, pushing themselves too hard, and then burning out. They stop completely and have to start over again. But consistency avoids this cycle. It creates steady, sustainable progress. Another important aspect of consistency is discipline. Discipline is not about forcing yourself in a harsh or negative way. It is about building habits that align with your goals. It is about training your mind to follow through, even when it feels uncomfortable. At first, consistency feels difficult. It requires effort, focus, and patience. But over time, it becomes part of who you are. What once felt like a struggle becomes a routine. What once required effort becomes automatic. This is the power of habits. It is also important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. You will have days where you fall short. You may miss a step, make a mistake, or lose focus. But consistency is not about never failing. It is about never giving up. It is about returning to your path again and again, no matter how many times you get off track. One of the biggest challenges people face is the desire for quick results. In a world where everything is fast, we expect success to happen quickly as well. But real growth takes time. It requires patience and trust in the process. Consistency teaches you to focus on the journey, not just the outcome. When you commit to consistent action, something powerful happens within you. You build confidence, not from words, but from proof. Every time you show up, you prove to yourself that you are reliable, disciplined, and capable. And that self-trust becomes one of your greatest strengths. In the end, success is not about what you do once. It is about what you do repeatedly. It is about the habits you build, the effort you maintain, and the discipline you develop over time. So stop waiting for motivation to strike. Stop depending on feelings to guide your actions. Instead, make a decision to stay committed and to keep moving forward. no matter what. Because when you master consistency, you unlock a level of growth and success that motivation alone could never give you. At the end of the day, the advice that changed millions of lives is not complicated. It is deeply simple, yet incredibly powerful when applied. It teaches you that your life is not controlled by luck, circumstances, or the opinions of others. It is shaped by your beliefs, your choices, your environment, and your daily actions. You have learned that belief is the foundation of everything. When you change what you believe about yourself, you begin to change how you live. You have understood that pain is not the end of your story. It is a tool that can either break you or build you, depending on how you use it. You have realized that your environment is silently influencing you every single day, and choosing the right one can elevate your entire life. And most importantly, you now know that consistency, not motivation, is the true key to lasting success. These are not just ideas. They are principles that, when practiced daily, create real transformation. The truth is, many people hear this kind of advice, feel inspired for a moment, and then return to their old habits. But the people whose lives truly change are the ones who take action. They don't just listen, they apply. They don't just dream, they commit. You don't need to change everything overnight. You don't need to have all the answers right now. All you need is a decision to start, a decision to believe in yourself a little more than you did yesterday, a decision to stop letting your past control your future, a decision to take one small step forward, and then another, and then another. Because real change happens in those small, consistent steps. There will be moments when it feels hard. There will be days when you doubt yourself. There will be times when progress feels slow. But remember this, every step you take is shaping a new version of you. Every effort you make is moving you closer to the life you want. Millions of lives have changed because people chose to apply this advice. They chose growth over comfort. They chose belief over doubt. They chose action over excuses. Now, the same choice is in front of you. Your past does not define you. Your struggles do not limit you. Your fears do not control you. What truly defines you is what you choose from this moment forward. So take that step. Stay consistent. Protect your mindset. Turn your pain into purpose. And most importantly, believe in the person you are becoming, because the advice that changed millions of lives has the power to change yours too.